Down at the rail, it's Flat Out Joy in third and Miss Flawless just outside of her. Bestrella has settled nicely in the fifth spot, about 7 lengths off the lead as the field moves around the first turn. Another length back to Donut Girl, and inside of her, it's Operatic. Down the backstretch they go, and it's Rapid Transit, controlling the pace up top, has it by 3 to Cecile's Chapter, Miss Flawless outside of her. Another 3 lengths back comes Bestrella and Flat Out Joy, Donut Girl, and Operatic. Less than 3/8 of a mile to go. Rapid Transit, the one to catch. 1.5 lengths to Cecile's Chapter. Miss Flawless. Now Bestrella is clearly into fourth. 3.5 or so off the lead, coming with a 3-wide bid. Long way to Donut Girl and Operatic, followed by Flat Out Joy. The field turns for home, and Rapid Transit still has a 2-length lead. Here's Bestrella on the outside and Miss Flawless in between them. Bestrella coming at Rapid Transit. Rapid Transit or Bestrella. Rapid Transit 1.5 lengths. Bestrella trying to get by late. Bestrella, Rapid Transit digging in, and Rapid Transit all the way. Bestrella came up a neck short. Photo for third, Operatic and Miss Flawless, and then a photo between Donut Girl and Cecile's Chapter. LLC. In the sixth, scratch number 1, Noble Hearted. Post time in 25 minutes. Fifth race named Happy Birthday Tyler, a Santa Anita bred foaled in 1992 by Hoffman LLC. In the sixth, scratch number 1, Noble Hearted. Post time in 25 minutes. They're in the gate. And they're off. Heels up, comes out running for the early lead. Delmar Drama, here's Sharapova outside of that pair, and Sharapova's a little bit quicker and up to take the lead. Heels up is a neck back second. Ironic Twist races in third, and Delmar Drama fourth. Fifi Farrow is by herself at the back of the field, about 5 lengths off the duel up top. It's heels up on the inside, retaking the lead, has it by a 1/2 length. Sharapova under a nice hold in second. 1.5 lengths. Ironic Twist with the blue blinkers third, and Delmar Drama is just inside of her, 3 lengths off the lead. Another 3 back to Fifi Farrow. They head into the far turn. Heels up, 3/4 of a length. Sharapova comes back for more in second. Ironic Twist now joins that top pair 3 wide. Delmar Drama very much in the thick of things, only 2.5 or so off the lead. Has to go now, and another 2 to Fifi Farrow. 1/4 mile to go. Sharapova, Ironic Twist. These two go on. Heels up is back to third. Delmar Drama, Fifi Farrow. They're at the top of the stretch. It's Sharapova and Ironic Twist. Ironic Twist on the outside, and Sharapova, Delmar Drama, 3 back in third. They're coming to the 16th pole, and it's Ironic Twist just in front. Sharapova bravely fights on at the rail. Ironic Twist in a very close photo. That is tight between Ironic Twist and Sharapova. Delmar Drama third, then Fifi Farrow. They're in the gate, and they're off. 911 Turbo is fast out of there. Magic Man has early speed. Here's Trainer Please now coming through on the inside, and Trainer Please takes the lead as they cross the dirt and come on to the main course. Air Force Red is now in second. 2 more back to Magic Man, and a good tracking spot third. Troubadour is down at the rail in the yellow colors, a joint fourth. Then comes Migration racing in between horses, has about 3 to make up. 911 Turbo, who broke on top, is fourth on the outside now. And then comes Flintmore, 7 lengths off the lead. The 2 trailers, Jedi Master and Hunter John at the back of the field. It's Trainer Please with a pretty easy lead, confronted now by Magic Man, who's within 3/4 second. Air Force Red, 911 Turbo, third and fourth. Another 4 Migration, followed by Troubadour down at the rail. and a 3-wide Hunter John trying to mount a bid with Flintmore between those two. Trainer Please turns for home, has a 2-length lead. Air Force Red comes off the rail to try and run him down. These two will arrive at the 16th, and here's Air Force Red coming swiftly on the outside now and runs right by Trainer Please. Air Force Red, very sharp, wins it by a measured length and a half. Trainer Please second. It's then a photo for third. Migration got the show dough just in front of Magic Man, and then fifth was between 911 Turbo and Flintmore. Race 8 this afternoon. They'll be at the gate in 25 minutes. Scratch number 5, Micro Share, and note that the 8th race is the start of the Golden Hour Pick 4. They're in the gate. And they're off. Ida bounces out very quickly, Miss Everything. Here's Ain't Easy now rushing through along the inside to take second. Desert Dawn comes away a joint third. Under the Stars is rushing up. And then comes Fortunata Tensio racing in between rivals as the field rounds the first turn. Desert Dawn now is about 3 lengths off the lead down at the rail. 3 in front of Miss Everything. Classical Romance second to last. And Cairo Memories is at the back of the field. They have 6 furlongs to run and Ida to catch. Ida leads the way with her stablemate Under the Stars clearly into second. Ain't Easy under a nice hold at the rail, and Fortunata Tensio outside of her. Desert Dawn fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. Racing 3 in front of Miss Everything. Cairo Memories inches up, and Classical Romance is a length behind that pair. They have a half-mile left to run in the Santa Isabel Stakes, and it's Ida the controlling speed, showing the way a length and a half. Under the Stars, Ain't Easy, hemmed in a little bit at the rail in third. Then it's Fortunata Tensio, followed by Desert Dawn. This quintet has been in these positions throughout. A big gap then to the next flight. Miss Everything, Cairo Memories, and Classical Romance. It's Ida in front, still 3/4 of a length. Under the Stars, down at the rail, Ain't Easy looking for racing room, finding a little bit of it now as they straighten up, and it's Ida digging in. Ida comes to the 8th pole, holding on to the lead by 2. Ain't Easy second. Under the Stars outside of her, 4 in front of Desert Dawn. Ida just keeps on going. She's strong on the front end, a length and a half. Under the Stars trying hard. Ida under the Stars. Ida coast to coast in the Santa Isabel. Under the Stars came up between a neck and half length short. Then it was Ain't Easy, Desert Dawn, and a long way between Fortunata Tensio and Miss Everything. Directing your attention to the Run Happy winner's circle, making the presentation for the Santa Isabel Stakes. Great. One more. Lucky Girl. They're in the gate. And they're off. Pammy's Ready is quick. Island of Love on the outside. Sterling Crest in between them has some early speed too. Urban comes away in the next flight, racing a joint fourth on the outside of an Agent Mistake. They're followed by Gold Dragon Queen. Then comes Lucky Girl second to last, and Virulent at the back of the field. It's Pammy's Ready, the controlling speed, a length and a half. Tracked by Island of Love in second. 2 more back to Sterling Crest in third. Then Gold Dragon Queen and an Agent Mistake right together. Urban has settled behind that pair with about 6 to make up, inching forward. Looking for some room between rivals is Urban at this stage. At the back, Lucky Girl under a hold and Virulent inside of her. They've taken closer order behind Pammy's Ready, who passes the half-mile pole with a length and a half edge. Then Island of Love racing in second. There goes Lucky Girl for an early bid with an Agent Mistake in between horses. Lucky Girl all the way up to second around the far turn, where it's Pammy's Ready in front. Lucky Girl a length back second. Island of Love and Agent Mistake is in fourth. Then Sterling Crest, Gold Dragon Queen. Virulent has 7 to make up. Urban has dropped back to last. They're at the top of the stretch. And Lucky Girl trying to sustain this big move on the outside of Pammy's Ready. An Agent Mistake running a good race. In the center of the course is Sterling Crest. Coming to the 16th pole. Lucky Girl a length and a half. Island of Love, an agent mistake on the outside. It is Lucky Girl and Joe Bravo to win the China Doll. An agent mistake was a good second. Then came Sterling Crest in third, followed by Island of Love and Gold Dragon Queen to complete the super high five.
It's a special day of Monday racing here in the state of California. You want to know why I said special day? First of all, special day for our sister track up north at Golden Gate. They're running today. $147,000 is their jackpot pick six pool. Mandatory payout today. It's a minimum 20-cent wager. Everything must go at our sister track up at Golden Gate today. That kicks off in race number 4. It's a special day down here in Southern California because we race as well. We have an 8-race car, but more importantly, we hope to capture your attention for the next 38 minutes because we have one of the best clockers anywhere in North America. He's my partner in crime. His name, Toby Turrell. Toby, welcome to the seminar.
Great to be here, Tom.
It's great to have you here. It's a beautiful day. It's always a beautiful day here in Southern California. But before we look forwards, let's look backwards. And of course, on Saturday, we had a monster card. And one of the marquee races was the San Felipe for 3-year-olds, going a mile and a 16th. And Richard Mandela got the candy with Forbidden Kingdom. How did Forbidden Kingdom train into the race? Did you have any distance questions? And what did you think of his performance?
Yeah, I think you have distance questions until they do it. That's true across the board. With him, it was an obvious question, and he gave everybody a bold answer, including myself. But the key with this horse is at Del Mar, I was on record on many radio shows, including our good buddy Felix, who's really happy with our 1-year anniversary with ESPN now on a gigantic station here in California. And on Saturday, he said, you were on this horse. This was a jewel you gave us early on, and talking about Forbidden Kingdom. And the reason why I did is because he was, in my estimation, the fastest 2-year-old by far on the grounds. And that's a bold statement. I mean, you're talking about a lot of Baffert horses. I I went on record with it before he ever ran, actually. I'm thrilled that he was able to get the distance, and I'm really hoping, like everybody else now, that he does it again.
We're about 4 to 5 weeks away from running the Santa Anita Derby. So first things first, before we talk about the Kentucky Derby, here in Southern California, in my opinion, perhaps Forbidden Kingdom's most challenging opponent to him in order to win the Santa Anita Derby would be Messier from the Bob Baffert barn. Have you seen Messier train recently?
Yes, Messier worked today, and he worked very nice. In fact, that's 2 weeks in a row that I think he is absolutely going the right way. Now he's another horse that I'll just cut to the chase. I believe that he is the best 3-year-old in the country, and I've thought so honestly from the first time I ever saw him. He was brilliant. He had a brilliant turn of foot, but they have to go through plateaus. They have to train on, train through, step up, and all that stuff to get into the big dance and the big picture. He's blossoming, Tom. I'm very excited about him. If I were betting the race right now, I'd be betting on him, not only for maybe the Santa Anita Derby, but also Kentucky.
Let's go to the older handicap division, because now Express Train is on a three-race win streak after being victorious in the Santa Anita Handicap presented by Yamava Resort and Casino. What did you think of Express Train's performance, and do you think he's improving now as a 5-year-old?
No question he's improving. His record of what he just did here proves that. He gets that monkey off the back now by winning at the 1.25 mile distance. He really had to earn it too. I'll tell you what, that was a hard stretch run, and he lost all the ground. The other horse saved all the ground. So he really needed heart and class to get that done. And Dottie Engordo is a very dear friend of mine. In fact, she sits with me regularly out here at Santa Anita.
In the mornings,
enjoying the magnificent scenery here. And in fact, she was with me today, and we talked about Express Train and just how thrilled her husband is, John Sheriffs. In fact, I've got the notes in front of me, and we're shooting for the stars now. We're talking Hall of Fame and everything else. So I'd love to see it happen.
Some old school trainers emerging victorious, both John Sheriffs and Richard Mandela, with budding superstars. Perhaps they'll have an impact around the country. General question for you, Toby. I talked about Express Train's 3-race win streak. That also coincides with Victor Espinoza being on his back. Do you believe that there are certain jockeys that fit certain horses in general?
Oh, no question. You have horses for courses. You have, as a kid, growing up in a handicapping family, we had different colored pens. And one of the things we did in the racing form that we marked off before anything else was a jockey change or vice versa. And obviously the vice versa in this case with Victor Espinoza. There's a veteran trainer that's, he's very selective now with his mounts. And that can be good too. He's got more time to concentrate. He was on the horse for all the workouts, which I think is very valuable. So it all came together.
The female version of the San Felipe was run yesterday, Toby. It was the Santa Isabel at 1.16 miles for 3-year-old fillies, and Bob Baffert completed the exacta, but it was somewhat surprising the order of finish. Ida actually won the race. Under the Stars finished second. Did that result surprise you?
Yeah, it did. But you know what, Tom, as I've said on here many times, I don't really like to comment on a race till after I've watched it multiple times. And, and I'm my own biggest critic too. If I don't have the winner, I want to know why. After watching that race several times, the replay, I believe I was on the best horse. The best horse doesn't always win, but take nothing away from the winner.
Under the Stars, a half to the talented Bodemeister. Certainly Under the Stars could improve off that performance in the Santa Isabel. We're going to try and improve on our performance. We're going to tell you who we like on today's 8-race card. Plus, we've got a potential single for you up at Golden Gate in their 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 sequence. Before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's special Monday card of racing here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Here are the early changes. The track is fast, the turf is firm, and the rail out 30 feet. In the first, start of the 50-cent early pick 5, scratch number 5, Majestic Wind. The second race starts the early pick 4. No changes. In the third, scratch number 3, Surf Ladder. The third race will start our Rainbow 6. And the Rainbow 6 jackpot today, $222,000. That jackpot, of course, for a single ticket winner. And as we mentioned, our jackpot, keep in mind that today, with the special Monday racing program at Golden Gate Fields, they will have a mandatory payout. Mandatory payout at Golden Gate Fields in their Rainbow 6. Fourth race on the card, scratch the also eligibles, 10 and 11. Note that number 3, Airbus, carries 2 pounds over, 5, Stemwinder, 3 pounds overweight. Fifth race kicks off the late pick 4 with no program changes. In the 6th, scratch the also eligible, number 9, Explosive. In the 7th, Golden Hour pick 4, scratch 1 particular harbor. And in the 8th race, scratch number 6, Exit Soul. Scratch number 7, Banjo Queen. 10 and 11 will both run, and then, of course, the program scratch of number 12. So in the 8th race, scratch 6 and 7. Be advised that both 10 and 11 will participate. 8th race will start the Golden Hour double. Those are the changes on this special Monday of racing at the Great Race Place. They'll be at the gate for our opener in 57 minutes at 12:30. At this time, we go back to Quigley's Corner. Tom's special guest today, highly respected clocker, Toby Turrell.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Toby Turrell. He's one of the most well-respected clockers anywhere in North America, and he's here on a daily basis, working 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so you can benefit from his knowledge. Anxious to hear who he likes on today's 9-race card. But before we do that, Toby, you've heard both Frank Miramati and I mention about the mandatory pad up at Golden Gate today. Starts in race number 4 on their 9-race card. Everyone's looking for a potential single in that sequence to maybe cut down the cost of their ticket. What say you about a potential single?
Well, I don't know if it'll cut the cost of the ticket because it's in the last race. No control over that. But anyway, in the last race, the number 3 horse, North Sea, routed last time out. Now he's going to cut back, and I think he's going to trip out in here. And I think they're making this drop to cash, as we always used to say. And boy, would there be a lot of cash if that happened.
There certainly would be, Toby, because there's not much simulcast competition today. There's very few tracks running. Of course, both us and Golden Gate are. So make sure you get involved in the Golden Gate mandatory pad today in their pick 6 sequence. It only costs 20 cents to play, and as I said, begins in race number 4. Let's focus our attention back here in Southern California, Toby, kicking things off in race number 1, which begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. We're sprinting 6 furlongs on the turf course for Calbred allowance optional claiming types. The rails today are at 30 feet. Scratch the 5 leaves us with a field of 7. Speaking of 7, that's the current morning line, current betting favorite, I should say. Number 7, Hail Freedom, who is taking the blinkers off for trainer Doug O'Neill. Even money on the board right now. Give us a winner to kick it off.
Yeah, well, Hail Freedom will be out there, I think, duking it out with who I believe or hoping is going to win this race, and that's number 3, Let's Get Lucky. This, I believe, is the class of the race. He's really the only horse that has stakes experience and successful stakes experience. Last time out, it's interesting that he actually beat Principe Carlo, who ran a huge second on Saturday here against Bafford's horse, the winner, Cezanne. So I think he's just outclasses his field. He's got that speed where the rails are out, like you said. That's also very key. You want to have position off the turn. He will. And hopefully he can outrun the other speed, the favorite. Now, I've got an interesting long shot in here. The number 2 horse, Bang for Your Buck, who I thought ran a very interesting race last time out. In fact, it was much better than looked.
As you say that, Toby, I'm going to interrupt you only because we have the replay for that race through the magic of our friends here in the production truck, as well as the hardworking people behind the scenes. We've pulled the replay for Bang Your Buck, and I want to introduce it first before we show it. It was back on February 5th, and it was on the flat turf course. It was not coming down the hill. It was the flat turf course, and they were going 6.5 furlongs. The reason why I mention that is that if you have the racing form in front of you, you can see Bang for Your Buck broke from post position number 11, and it's a uniquely designed track on the flat turf course where they basically have to make a sharp left-hand turn shortly after starting. So in my handicapping opinion, the outside posts are certainly at a disadvantage. You can see Victor Espinoza, as we start the replay, will break from post number 11 and kind of had a bit of a subtle trouble trip. We'll listen to Frank Miramati describe the action, and then we'll resume your commentary after watching the replay, Toby.
And they're off. In the center, Charge Cash is showing some early speed. Midnight Special on the extreme outside. Here's Like the Wind, now coming through swiftly along the inside, and Like the Wind is the new leader. Hail Freedom is right up alongside in second, and Charge Cash just outside of that pair. A gap of 4. Back to Midnight Special, well spotted in fourth. Down on the inside comes Bricks. Dr. Troutman is next. If I Told You, between those two. Then comes Crash Corrigan, Bang for Your Buck, Fly to Mars toward the back of the field, racing 3 lengths in front of Jazz Hands, and Discretionary Day is well behind. Around the far turn they go. It's Like the Wind and Hail Freedom. Hail Freedom goes right by now to take command. Charge Cash on the outside of them. Bricks is up close, only about 3 lengths off the lead. Midnight Special on the outside. They're at the top of the lane. And Hail Freedom goes on with it. Leads it by 2.5. Bricks chasing with determination in second. Coming to the 16th. Down on the inside. Here comes Crash Corrigan. And Crash Corrigan flying through late. Crash Corrigan goes through the narrowest of openings to win it. Another for Juan Hernandez. Second to Hail Freedom. Then came Jazz Hands, who came from well out of it, just in front of Bang for Your Buck, and it's close to complete the super high 5.
Watching the gallop out there, Toby, we can see that Bang for Your Buck certainly finished well that particular day. Hail Freedom also got nailed on the wire. But you like the long shot chances of number 2 in here, Bang for Your Buck.
Yeah, well, you know, the first thing you notice there is the favorite in the race was only about 2 lengths in front of him at the wire. Now, you know, where to begin on that? Just look at the ground loss. You mentioned the outside post position. I called the horse 8 to 9 wide, and you know, your favorite saved way more ground than that, than the difference they were apart at the wire. Also, the horse did what you cannot do on the turf. It gives him a big excuse even before all that. He got very rank, and this time now with that experience out of the chute, hopefully he'll be more settled this time. He's now on the inside. I think there's some reasons to believe he could be maybe coming down the lane, and who knows, maybe cause a big surprise here.
6 to 1 on the morning line, currently 8 to 1 on the board. It looks like, based upon your analysis, Toby, race number 1 could be more difficult than just singling the favorite in the 50-cent early pick 5. Let's see if there's a single potentially in the 50-cent early pick 4, which begins in race number 2. This race is on the main track, 6 furlongs of the distance. For fillies and mares, non-winners of 2 races lifetime, $12,500 is the claiming tag. A field of 7. Morning line favorite number 5, Season to Remember, from the Jonathan Wong barn, 8 to 5 on the morning line. Give us your thoughts on race 2.
All right. Well, I basically think this is a 2-horse race. The rail horse in here, Scream and Shout, 5-year-old mare, and the favorite, the number 5 horse, Season to Remember. Now, I'm going to go with the rail horse in here on the pace and speed angle, and she's sharp. Mary Rowan, who's a longtime name out here in Southern California, getting back involved, getting a couple of horses here and there. She's done a good job with this mare. In fact, what I like is since their last race, where they both raced on February 13th, talking about the 1 and the 5, this horse has a nice sharp blowout since the race, and she's still on her toes. So I know she's still sharp. Tyler Bay's going to be able to get her out, I think, from the rail and have a speed edge on your favorite, the 5. But if they're coming head and head down the lane, I might lean to the 5. But I think if the 1 can get some real estate on the 5, the 1 can hold off the 5.
It's interesting, Toby. You mentioned they both ran on the same day. They ran in split divisions, and Scream and Shout, your top choice, came out of the much faster division. That race that she ran in, which was race number 3 that day, was 1.60 seconds faster than the race that Season to Remember exits. That's the good news. The bad news is, you'll recall, Season to Remember lost to a big Leonard Powell dropper who just broke her maiden for $50,000. Leonard put her right back in for $16,000, and she emerged victorious. But nevertheless, interesting comparison between the two runners, 1 and 5, simply because they both ran on the same day in different races. On our 8-race card, race number 3 begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 down here in Southern California. Not a mandatory payout today. No mandatory payout here, but the jackpot single ticket carryover now up to $222,000, starting to get very interesting. And we'll kick things off here going 1 mile on the main track for $16,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. Field of 5 after the scratch of number 3. The morning line favorite is number 2, Mongolian Legend, with trainer Doug O'Neill perhaps saddling another favorite come post time. 8-5 according to John White. How do you see the race?
Yeah, well, I believe we're looking at a big pace advantage to the 2 favorites in here. The 2 horse Mongolian Legend and the 5 Perfecto Amor. Mongolian Legend's really dropping down today. Today is the day that they try to salvage the investment, as they say. No excuses today for Mongolian Legend. He's got a solid workout into the race where Diego was up in the saddle for the minute and 3/5. It's very good for this level of horse. So no excuses. He's tight. He's ready. He's got a very paceless race. So really the 1 and the 5 should control this race. Now the 5 has not been finishing of late. This Perfecto Amor, who was just claimed by Val Brinkenhoff, he's got to turn it around. His finishes, he's really got to finish better. He hasn't changed leads down the lane. So I can say all that. He's still the horse to beat. But I think the number 2 horse in here can do it, Mongolian Legend.
Toby, you mentioned Mongolian Legend being ridden by Diego Herrera. Certainly Diego Herrera and Doug O'Neill are having a very lucrative and promising relationship. You recall on Big Cap Day, he actually rode Diego Herrera on his horse in the Big Cap Soy Tapatio. What are your impressions of the rapidly improving Diego Herrera?
Well, I'd like to think I'm the hardest working guy at the track. I can't really say that.
He works day and night.
He's got me beat. I only work day and night. He works in the afternoon too. So he's got everybody beat. I'll tell you what he's doing. He's getting in a lot of barns, not only Doug O'Neill. He's in all the top barns, really, or most of them now. He's hustling. I spot him in the mornings. Replacing Tyler Bayes used to get on the most horses that I could count, but this kid, I'll tell you, he's giving him a run.
Keep working hard, Diego, and also that applies to his agent as well, Derek Lawson, who also works hard. Race number 4 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. We're back on the turf course. Calbred maiden special weights. Scratch the 2 also eligibles. 10 and 11 will not compete. Leaves us with a field of 9. Take note, the inside 2 runners, Cool Acclaim and Sippin' and Kissin', are both first-time geldings, and Cool Acclaim, besides being a first-time gelding, is also the morning line favorite. 5-2 on the morning line. For the next 5 races, Flavian writes 4 of those 5 morning line favorites, including here. Give us your thoughts on race 4.
Well, I think this is a wide open race. I guess the 1 deserves to be the favorite for a lot of the reasons you just stated, on top of being trained by Phil D'Amato, who just saddles turf winner after turf winner. But this is the kind of race I'd like to take a shot. You can make something happen. I don't think you have to run that big to win this race. The number 7 horse, Bravestone, I think is coming around here. I think he's finally developed. He's an oversized horse. It probably took a while to get his legs under him. I think he's got his legs under him now. His last race, I think, was the best race of his career. He just missed, lost a heartbreaker. And this is the spot maybe where he can make something happen. The number 6 horse, Dark Marcus. This is a big trainer change here. Brian Coroner is taking over the training from Jose Hernandez. And he has the best tape notes that I can find in the race. He's had a good debut effort, or second race effort, which was his first effort on the turf. He did catch my eye that day. I like the way he galloped out in his last race. So he's got a little bit of form here to lean on at 5-1. And I think one of these 2 horses can cause a nice upset, 7 or 6. And by the way, in 7 and 6 in that order.
We got you covered, Toby. A question for you on your top 2 selections. They both train cross town at Los Alamitos, and of course, that's a little bit more glib of a surface than we have here, which can be a bit demanding and tiring. Any concern about them being based at Los Alamitos?
Well, with this race being on turf, to me, that's the equalizer. Turf horses actually run well at Los Alamitos, and I think that kind of equalizes that factor a little bit.
Fair enough. Let's take a look at race number 4. Begins the 50-cent late pick 4. Fillies and Mares, maiden special weight, sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track. We've got a field of 6 before we get Toby's selection in the race. Let's watch a workout for number 5, Martini Mischief, who is the 8-5 morning line favorite from the Bob Baffert barn, a first-time starter. We want to take a look at the gate workout, a team gate workout back on February 27th. Martini Mischief will be on the inside. Let's take a look at that workout, Toby. And as we watch that work, we want your impressions of the work.
Yeah, well, first off, she's training with a horse that hasn't been named yet, Molto Vita. That's an Uncle Mo that has done some good things out here of late. In fact, outworked a winner yesterday for Baffert. Now, look at the speed first off here on the rail. This horse under a big hold, very clearly a very fast horse. And the key is today she's going to have to stretch that speed, but she's got the frame. She's athletic, and you can still see the rider under a big hold here. And she's working with a decent horse, I believe. That's also very key. She's going to get the best of this work, but she's had the best of all 3 works over the track that I've seen. She has been under this kind of restraint. She's always looking like she's got a lot to give, and that's what you want to see in the mornings. You put the speed on top of that, you got a winning recipe. And of course, Bob Baffert, his percentage in this situation is very, very high of late. Look at that, still never really asked at all, even when the work's over, and we're starting to edge clear of a decent horse there. Done everything you want to see. Now, we're not going to get any price here today. Everybody else, I believe, will be focusing on this horse for all the right reasons, but I think she'll get it done. The number 6 horse, American Heights, she ran against a horse named Ironic Twist, who had a very nice win here yesterday for Mark Glatt. So that line can mean even more than it did yesterday on the class level. She needed that race. That's the key there for Carla Gaines. She's now got that race under her belt, and she's got the outside draw with some speed of her own. So I think she is the horse to beat.
Toby, another filly exiting that Ironic twist race that you mentioned is number 4, Musica, trained by Mark Glatt. Mark Glatt does very well with his maiden second-time starters. She's had 2 workouts since that race back on January 29th. Have you seen either one of those 2 drills, and what'd you think of them?
Yeah, she was training nicely going into that race, and both, believe it or not, both Mark Glatt horses were giant prices that day. And you can see this filly was almost 24-1. And honestly, she is trained very well into the race, and she's trained well out of the race. So no knocks there. We'll see if she can get that extra half a furlong. That'll be the question with all of them, I think. But
I'm sorry, Toby.
That's it.
That's it. That's not quite it yet. We've got 3 more races to go, but I just wanted to recap Toby's top picks in race number 5. Number 5, Martini Mischief is his top choice. Number 6, American Heights is his second choice. And of course, he also likes number 4, Musica. Race number 6, we're back on the flat turf course, going 6.5 furlongs on the turf course for starter optional claiming type. Scratch the also eligible. Number 9 will not compete. Leaves us with a field of 8. The morning line favorite from the Jeff Mullins barn, number 2, My Summer Dream. Give us your thoughts on race 6, Toby.
Wide open race here. Again, a race I think you take a shot, try to get a price home, and that's what I will do today with the number 6 horse. And here, Big Scott Daddy. Been a project for his trainer here, Mike Pipey. And he had all that promise early on. In fact, I'll never forget him. He won the first race of his life on opening day here at Santa Anita, and he hasn't won since. But today, I think, is the day. He's got the extra half a furlong to work with. He gallops out well. And I think if he gets the right pace set up, he can make the last run. From a workout standpoint, the last workout, not by design, I don't think, but by random coincidence, he came down the lane with Royal Ship, who's a comebacking stake horse for Richard Mandela. And he was head and head with that horse. So hopefully that rubs off on him today here too. Prior to that, the workouts that I'm really leaning on, giant hold in both workouts and adding some beautiful flesh and color since his last race. So reason to believe an upset could happen here with number 6, Big Scott Daddy. The number 4 horse, Commander Kai, comes back off of an unsuccessful road trip, to say the least. In fact, very unfortunate last time out, running into a sloppy track at Oaklawn and really stopping. Today he gets back on the turf. He has a big pace advantage in this race, and he's also got a hot hand with the connections here. They won the last race last night. Lucky girl, Richard Baltus and Joe Bravo. They're going to try to do it again today here with the 4 horse Commander Kai.
6-1 on Toby's top pick in race number 6. Big Scott Daddy. Here's an interesting handicapping tidbit that you probably don't know. I only know it because I keep notes in Formulator. Last time out, Big Scott Daddy actually ran in a starter allowance race for horses that had not won 3 races lifetime. You'll recall, or at least you'll notice in the conditions for this race, that this is for non-winners of 2 races lifetime. So even though it's generally the same condition, he's actually getting a bit of class relief. That could be the key to perhaps being in the winner's circle at morning line odds of 6-1. Let's turn the page, take a look at race number 7. Begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4 sequence. Both us and Golden Gate are running today. That means the Golden Hour Pick 4 is in play, linking our last 2 races with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. And we kick it off here in race number 7 for Cal-bred 3-year-olds, non-winners of 1 other than, sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Scratch the 1, leaves us with a field of 5. Number 4, What in Blazes, first-time Lasix user, is the 8-5 morning line favorite from the John Sheriff's barn. Talk to us about race 7, Toby.
Well, we opened up today by talking about Forbidden Kingdom. You can see that right there. That's who this horse ran against last time, but it gets better than that, Tom.
Do tell.
He ran against Pinehurst as well.
We know who he is.
Yes, well, everybody in the Middle East knows who he is too.
Saudi Derby.
Yes, indeed. So what a race he comes out of, right? Now, today should be the right trip. And no excuses today not to use that speed that he's got. And he'll be my choice as the favorite. The number 2 horse, Franklin 1 Star, is going back to the dirt today for Doug O'Neill. A very honest horse. He shows up and tries every time. And he will be my second choice, drawn to the inside there, 4-2.
We talked about Diego Herrera. He's got a mount in this race for George Papapadromo, who's had a decent meet so far. Number 5, Moose Mitchell, tried the turf course for the first time. Last time out, ran very, very well, just missing. Now goes back to the dirt, gets a good outside post. You give him a little bit of a look?
Yeah, you have to, because he's a very genuine, hard-knocking horse, too, believe it or not. Right out of the gate at Del Mar in his first race, 32-1, and I can just remember the fight that he had in defeat. I love to see that in a horse. And he's validated it. Look at every race. He just runs his heart out. So win or lose, you know, you'll get your $2 worth from a horse like Moose Mitchell.
And speaking of his debut back on August 7th, the winner, Joker Boy, you recall, came back to win a $100,000 Calbred Stakes. So that was a tough field that he faced in his debut. He's been unsuccessful with one exception in 8 lifetime starts. We'll see if he can get win number 2 today. We close out the day and we close out the week in race number 8. Keep in mind, live racing will resume here on Friday. 8 race card beginning at 12:30. But first things first, race number 8 begins the $5 Golden Hour Daily Double. Similar concept, linking our last race with the last race at Golden Gate. We're going 1 mile on the turf course. Main special weight, 3-year-old fillies. Take note of the following scratches. 6 and 7 will both not compete. There's also the program scratch of number 12, but 2 of the also eligibles now draw into the race. Number 10, Midnight Silence, and number 11, Rock the Bourbon, will both compete in this race. The morning line favorite is drawn right inside of them. Number 9, Rhea Moon from the Phil D'Amato barn, 3-1 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Toby, we want to watch the replay of the last effort for number 2, Eleuthera from the Ben Cecil barn. Let's take a look at that replay. Listen to Frank Miramonte spin them around, and we'll get your thoughts on the race after watching it.
They're all in line. And they're off in the Leanne Howard Cal Cup Oaks. Professor's Pride sprints out of the gate. Money Penny has some early speed. Here's Eleuthera now moving into contention. And Precious Inside is close up too. Vivacious Vanessa racing on the inside of Madiha, about 4 lengths off the speed. Down at the rail, Big Novel is next. Era in the orange colors. Another couple of lengths to La Deuxième Étoile, who's racing on the outside of Ella Mira. 3 lengths back to Rose Dawson and Vaping Angel at the back of the field. Onto the backstretch they go. And it is Eleuthera with a half-length lead. Professor's Pride at the rail in second. Money Penny about 4 off the pace in third. Then Precious Insight, followed by Big Novel past the half-mile pole. Vivacious Vanessa is next. La Deuxième Étoile is about 4 wide, making a little bit of progress on the outside of Dendera. A gap of 3. Madiha has lost some ground. Ella Mira down at the rail. Rose Dawson and Vaping Angel still trails. They're midway on the far turn, and the battle continues between Eleuthera on the outside and Professor's Pride. They've been right together throughout. Big Novel just behind them. Vivacious Vanessa. Money Penny is the gray. Down at the rail, Ella Mira's looking for room desperately. And in the center of the course, here's Rose Dawson from well out of it. Rose Dawson and Big Novel go on. Between them, it's Vivacious Vanessa. Rose Dawson with a nice rally to victory. And Rose Dawson, big day for Flavian Pratt, wins the Leanne Howard Cal Cup Oaks. Big Novel was second. Vivacious Vanessa was third. The rest between Dendera, Ella Mira, and Madiha.
Toby, I need to pay for dinner tonight. Give me a winner for a dinner, as we used to say down at Del Mar.
Okay, that horse we just watched, the 2-horse Eleuthera, she ran a gigantic half-mile pace number in that race. With that under her belt, getting Lasix and blinkers off today. Today's the day, I believe, for her to get her just reward. The number 8 horse, Duvet Day, I believe, was much best in her last race. Whitey scratches his other horse out of here, exits sold, because why run 2 when 1 will do?
Toby, it's always a pleasure having you on the seminar. If you want Toby's opinions every single racing day, you can go to the website, casetherace.com. You can find his selections there. Again, it's the best $3 or $5 online you'll ever spend. Toby, thanks so much for your time and insight today. Continued success and good luck on the card.
Thank you.
Good luck to all of you on the card as well. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have fun and make some money.